I've got a question for you. Can you imagine how amazing it would be to love exercise? I mean, you could just do what you love and accidentally get fit. Well, I think I've found a way to develop a love for running. For the longest time, I would look at runners and think, why on earth would you want to spend your Sunday mornings experiencing pain in the most monotonous way possible? Yet here I am a short time later, and I'm actually really starting to fall in love with running. And in reflecting on how that happened to me, I've actually stumbled across a way for anyone to do the same. Runners get a bad rap because they talk too much about running, and that's kind of ironic because it's what I'm doing right now. But I think at least some of the reason it can get on people's nerves is because of jealousy. And no, not jealousy of the act of running. I mean, no one looks at someone else running and thinks, I would also like to be in pain right now. But more so jealousy about being passionate about something that's so healthy for you, even though it's difficult. How many people have you heard label themselves as just not a runner? Or say, it's just not for me. And in fact, I bet that's what a heap of you are thinking right now. And fine, if you listen to what I have to say and implement a couple changes and you still hate it, fair enough. But I actually don't believe anyone is just born loving running. Anyone who enjoys running has developed a relationship with it. So enough blabbing on. How do we actually achieve this? Well, it's easy. Literally, you start with really easy running. I used to be someone who used to think you had to give it your all, every run, to see any progress. And oh boy, how wrong was I. What I was actually doing was just training in a straight up unsustainable way. Not only because it can lead to injury, but also because it's just too hard to sustain over a long period. What I've learned is the best method of training is the one that you can stick to. Now, there are definitely some semi-masochists out there who just enjoy the pain of running. Stay hard! But for me, I want it to be something I look forward to, and definitely not something I want to come out of feeling like I've been hit by a truck. And lucky for us, running easy is actually an optimal way to run. In fact, it's how a majority of elite marathoners and long distance runners actually approach their training. This might seem crazy, you might have a view of professionals putting their all into every session, but they're smart, they know how to train. To expand, what I'm talking about is Zone 2 training. This is the idea that you should spend about 80% of your weekly running in a Zone 2 heart rate. You can calculate your Zone 2 heart rate online, but if you don't have a device to measure your heart rate while you're running, you can actually just estimate it by running at a pace where you can hold a conversation. If you can't hold a conversation, but you're running too fast, you need to slow it down. And if you're thinking, there's no way I'd be able to hold a conversation no matter how slow I run, then you're not alone. This is how most people start. This is how I started a few months ago. So I would have to do some walking and some running and build into it, but that's okay. Now, if you want some more information about Zone 2 training and more evidence to support its validity, I'll leave some links below from some actual professionals who can support its credibility. But from my anecdotal experience, it has improved my running so much. What I love about it is that you can come into most runs knowing it's going to be easy, and you can come out of most runs feeling refreshed and ready to continue your day. Now, yes, there's still a time and place for hard efforts, but these become more of an exciting challenge and fun. You can try and beat your personal records. Also, training in Zone 2 is one of the best ways to lose weight. See, in Zone 2, you're teaching your body to burn body fat rather than the carbohydrates from the food you've eaten recently. And I'm not an exercise scientist, but from the research I've done, this is my understanding of it. And again, anecdotally, I've lost quite a bit of weight. Anyway, discovering this style of running was a huge game changer for me, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. Okay, so now you're kind of considering running, but you're thinking, I still hate the act of running itself. Why would I even start? Well, you most likely haven't encountered runner's high. When you start to run for a bit, and run the right way, you'll encounter a rush of endorphins, and it just makes you feel amazing. It's a big part of the reason people who run the right way keep coming back to running. Okay, now you might be thinking, that sounds like something I could get around, but I suck. Everyone's gonna be faster than me. It's gonna be miserable. And trust me, I understand. The main reason I hated running in the past was because I was running at school. I was running with a group of boys who were all better than me, and it would just make me feel worthless every session. See, my fatal error was comparing myself to those other people. When I started to love running was when I realized that if I just focus on myself, the sensation of improvement is awesome. I would just focus on my own running pace and I could see improvements every week, which for me was just a huge motivator. Okay, so now you're somewhat starting to enjoy running. The runs are easy, you feel great afterwards, and you love beating your own PBs. But it can get a little lonely. Enter running clubs. We live in a time where running clubs are mega popular. You might not know this because most of them are quite early in the day, but if you've ever seen those big groups of runners, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Running clubs take a isolated sport and make it a social event. You can meet your friends in the morning, have a catch up because you're running easy in zone 2, and then go have a coffee and some breakfast afterwards because you deserve it. Chances are you'll meet new friends, you'll meet other people that are just getting into running as well, and you can share that experience. I know I'm sounding a bit cliche, but it's really an awesome thing to have. If you can't find a running club near you, there is most likely a park run near you. Just Google park run, you can run it at any pace, walk, jog, sprint, whatever you want to do. Okay, so in the hypothetical situation that you've actually followed these tips, let's see what we've achieved here. You've found a new passion, you found new friends, you're the fittest you've ever been, and you just feel amazing. All because one day you decided to chuck on a pair of shoes and just get out the front door. Chances are you're sitting or lying down somewhere in your house watching this, and you actually have no barrier to go out your front door and give it a shot. And that's your cue. What are you waiting for? Props to you if you made it this far. I know the last thing anyone needed was another YouTube video about running, but if I convinced just one of you to give it a go, I think it was more than worth it. If you found value in this video, I'm just going to ask you a little favor. There's a little button below that says subscribe. If you could press that, that helps me immensely. Thank you for watching. Cheers.